Wiki Cat is going crazy. I'm sure you've seen it. If you're familiar with my channel, you've seen it. I've been posting about it for the past day. It has nearly doubled in the past 24 hours. So in this video, I just want to get on real quick, live stream. I haven't done this in a minute in the public section of the channel and talk about Wiki Cat, talk about what we've been expecting with Wiki Cat, what we expect going forward. None of this should be a surprise. We're just happy that it's happening now. You know what I'm saying? I know many people who come to this video will be new to the channel, probably just heard about Wiki Cat. So this video is for both new and old. All right. So we see the chart up 87% in one day. Let me refresh this. Yeah, still 87% has been all the way up here. All right. It's going crazy. Now, we've been expecting this, right? God gave me a dream about Wiki Cat like November 2023, right? Y'all saw the live stream I did with Sharon, Now Daily Bread, the following month. And so we're approaching 2 years that I've personally been in Wiki Cat. You know, some of you are in it, have been in it. Some of you want to get in it now that you see the writing on the wall. And you see it's not too late because we have showing that it's nearly doubled in just one day, right? So even if you got in it yesterday, over a year and a half after I got in it, you've already doubled your money, okay? So I'm gonna share the Discord server. This is part of the channel membership, right? So, you know, we know it hit a new all-time high yesterday. Obviously, it's well surpassed that now. Since its last all-time high all the way back in January 2023. Okay. And so I posted in the Discord yesterday, you know, now more people will get on board. It's in the top 1,000 cryptos now. It has a market cap that is small enough to where people looking for a quote unquote 100x opportunity may consider it, while still not being too small where people overlook it, right? Eventually more exchange listings as it continues to grow. Well, it's been listed on 2 more exchanges since I made that comment, just in the past 24 hours. So then Abby, she shared this gentleman on X speaking about Wiki Cat, mentioning Wiki Cat. So let's take a look at that. Pardon the language, okay? But we're all adults.
That can sell me on their token.
So basically, he puts out a proposal saying the community that can sell me on their token, whoever's loudest, I will get into that token. And he says, you know, not to toot his own horn, but if he gets into a cryptocurrency, it holds a lot of weight. All right.
Or their meme project, I will get into. So there you go. And to me, that holds, if I get into something, that holds, I mean, hey, I'm gonna clap for myself. If I get into something, it holds a lot of weight. That's all. That's all. So let's see how loud your community is. By the way, I have to give them a shout out. I kind of got to give them a shout out because I don't own any. I don't know if I plan to ever own any. And I don't mean that to be disrespectful, but these cats in here, these Wiki Cats, they're here every day. They're just fucking here every day. What, that is a good project? No, but I'm just saying that the community shows up every single day. I won't FUD anything. I won't talk down about anything or any community that shows up. Bottom line. Will I get into it? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't have any, and I don't know if I want to get in. Because I've seen a few motherfuckers say that, hey, that I've talked down on them. I didn't talk down on you, motherfuckers.
All right, that's enough. I warned y'all about the language, right? But essentially, he mentions Wiki Cat by name. Right after he says, hey, the community who's the loudest, I will get into that token. Okay. Now, I felt like, well, first, let me say, you know, he said if he gets into something, it holds a lot of weight. I mean, he has over 800,000 followers. that could already be part of the reason why it's gone up so much just in the past day alone, right? Now, I felt like this could possibly be a fulfillment or pointing to um, a soon fulfillment of a prophetic word from a sister in the community. Her channel name is Prophetic Intercession. Now, I know her real name. We've actually interacted personally, but I don't know. I've never heard her mention her actual name in a video, so I don't know if she wants it out there. But I remember I reached out to her last year just to meet and talk, and she essentially said, "I knew you were going to contact me because God told me you were." So she already had a prophetic word for me the first time I reached out to her. So she is prophetic. She is accurate. She's already prophesied about certain cryptos that have done what she saw happening. And so here's a video she put out all the way back in December. Okay, over half a year ago. She's sharing a prophetic dream here. Let me answer the chat first. So Faustino asks, is it too late to get in? No. I mean, it's doubled in the last 24 hours. You know, you could have already doubled your money if you got in yesterday, right? And I expect it. This is nothing to where I expect it to go. Absolutely nothing. Um, Space Gen, thank you. You said, oh, well, we have a couple of people asking what exchanges it was listed on. It was listed on MEXC Global, and an exchange called, was it Coinpedia? Somebody posted it in the Discord. Let me see. Let's see. Let's see. I think it was the last message. Coinpedia Market Exchange. Now that exchange I've never heard of. I have heard of MEXC though. Regardless, two more exchanges, higher visibility. Um, it's all positive. Let me see. Where was I on this screen? So, I responded and said, all publicity is good publicity, because he wasn't necessarily speaking positively about Wiki Cat, but hey, 800,000 followers. He mentioned it. People looked it up, I'm sure. Now, apparently, he was among the major people who rallied behind Shiba Inu, and that played a large factor in Shiba Inu doing what it did when it grew. So, as he said, when he gets into a coin, it holds a lot of weight, apparently. I had never heard of him before this. And so let's go back to the video from our sister sharing the stream.
Ahead and talk about Wiki Cat next. Okay, so a few days ago, I was just meditating actually and doing my own things, right? And out of the blue, I actually was just resting and just meditating and all whatnot. Suddenly, I just slept, or like this deep sleep just came upon me, and I saw Wiki Cat on Twitter. So now there are times where the Lord can show you something, it's just like a visual. Sometimes it's like a screen that you're watching, like there are different ways that the Lord shows you. But I saw myself looking at a screen that is on Twitter. So now, or on X. So when I got on there, my eyes were zoomed in and I saw like an influential person about to call WikiCat, like about to share it on their platform, like, hey, this. Now, the WikiCat logo was not just there, like maybe, like how they have their flyers and all whatnot. No, but in this dream or in this vision, at this point in time, this WikiCat logo was like on a souvenir. When you go maybe for weddings or occasions or something, then people actually gift you, like the host will gift you something that has maybe their name on it, their credentials on it, or whatever it is that they're celebrating. For example, let's say you go for a wedding, it can be A and B, so then the date is there or something like that, right? Yeah. So this was what it was like. It looked like the logo of WikiCat was on a souvenir. And when I looked further, I noticed that it was like posted or was all over the place. Not just this one souvenir, but there were like a variety of them. And they were
So essentially, the sister shared that in a vision, in a dream, she saw Wiki Cat being posted on X by someone very influential. And so we just saw that video about the gentleman with 800,000 followers, right? So it could be the fulfillment right there, or it could be soon where he promotes WikiCat more directly, right? Now apparently there are other prophetic words. If we go back to the Discord, so in this audio note, I was just talking about the sister's dream. Wow, they added you can now speed up audio messages on Discord. You couldn't do that before. Okay. So Prosper then shares apparently there's a prophetic word about that man who we saw on Twitter, that God would give him a dream about WikiCat, which would encourage him to rally behind it, almost as if he's the founder himself. So apparently there are prophetic words about other influential people talking about WikiCat, etc. Then we have other people sharing not only what they've seen spiritually WikiCat, but other cryptocurrencies. Right. And Prosper sharing some more prophetic stuff about different cryptocurrencies, etc. Right. This is the channel membership Discord server. $5 a month right now. Yeah. So if you're interested, I mean, we keep each other in tune, connected, supported, lifted up, etc. So someone asked where I see it going. I see, well, this isn't me personally. I haven't received a price point myself, but I've heard other people, right? And we know in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let a thing be established. So the price point I feel confident in is 3 zeros behind the decimal point, which means dropping 4 zeros from where it is. So if you want to do quick math, right, to see what your profit could be at that price point, if you were to get in today, I said dropping 4 zeros, you just take how much you're going to put in and add 4 zeros, right? So if you put in $100 today, add 4 zeros to that, that's $1 million. Okay. So that's what I feel confident in. But other people have seen even higher. Other people have seen 3 cents, 5 cents, right? So that would be dropping 6 zeros. Okay. So anywhere from 1 to 3 zeros behind the decimal point is what I've heard people say. I feel a little more strongly about the 3 zeros. I'm not going to sell absolutely everything at 3 zeros. I mean, I'm going to see how high it can go, right? But I will sell a large majority at that point. I'll probably sell a lot before then. It's so cheap. It was so cheap when I got in. Like, I will be doing well long before it hits 3 zeros behind the decimal point. Let's see. Abe says OC Cat and DeFi Tiger also moving up with WikiCat's momentum. Yeah, those are 2 I'm not very familiar with. But Prosper mentioned them in the Discord server. Apparently they have prophetic words connected to them. And the sister at Prophetic Intercession, I know she has made a video about OC Cat. OCICAT. And Faustino, in case you didn't hear me, it was listed on Mexi Global and Coinpedia Exchange. Marcus, I'm familiar with that guy, David, you play the video of. He hosts just about every day on X, spaces about crypto, etc. And he did talk about Shiba Inu a lot 2 years ago on X. Okay. Yeah, he might be the one. He might be the one that the sister saw in her dream. It makes sense. Mexi only paired to USDT. Hope it won't be a problem. No. I'm sure you're referencing the warnings about USDT crashing, right? Which I fully believe it will. It will collapse. These dang gestures on this new camera I got. Anyway, no, once you buy the cryptocurrency, it doesn't matter what you bought it with. USDT, USDC, USD, Bitcoin, whatever. Once you have that cryptocurrency, then you have that cryptocurrency. If you bought it with USDT and USDT crashes, it will not affect that cryptocurrency in that way. Now, I think when USDT collapses, the whole market will crash. Yes. But your WikiCat won't lose value because you bought it with USDT, if that makes sense, you know? Mexi not available. The other way to get WikiCat, the way I got it, hot wallet, right? You find the contract address on CoinMarketCap, right? I can show y'all. Okay, so here's the WikiCat page on CoinMarketCap. You would just scroll down to the left here. If you're on your phone, you will go to the About section. It looks different on the phone, obviously, but you go to the About section, you find where it says contracts, and you copy the contract address. You see it's on Binance Smart Chain, right? And so you would copy the contract address, and then you would go to your hot wallet right here. They show Trust Wallet and MetaMask. Majority of my WikiCat I bought on MetaMask, but I don't trust MetaMask. So if I use MetaMask to buy it, I immediately transfer it to somewhere else after I buy it. But yeah, you just the way you swap any coins on a hot wallet, you could do this on Phantom Wallet, you could do this on Base, you know, which used to be called Coinbase Wallet, now it's just Base. You just when you search for a coin on the hot wallet, you paste the contract address and it'll bring that specific coin. That's how I bought USTC today for the first time. I saw the news about Do Kwon, the founder of Terra Luna Classic and USTC, how he's going to change his plea to guilty. Apparently Trump owns USTC some in his portfolio. And so I was like, let me get some USTC because if it goes back up to $1, if it gets pegged to the dollar again, you know, that's nearly 100x. I need to turn off these dang gestures. Hold on, because this camera is annoying me. Let me turn it off. All right. Let me go back to the chat. Pancake swap it. That's what I did. Yeah, you can use Pancake Swap. Yeah, WikiCat came out. Well, the founder of WikiCat, Sir Mappy, he came out with a wallet called Penny Wallet, so you could use that as well. Yeah, hot wallet is not the name of a wallet. A hot wallet is a type of wallet. So Penny Wallet is a hot wallet. Phantom Wallet is a hot wallet. Trust Wallet, MetaMask, these are hot wallets. Do you move MetaMask purchases to a cold wallet or another hot wallet? You can do either or. I do have some WikiCat on my ledger. I have some in a hot wallet as well, right? So you can do either or. Obviously, I mean, that's up to you. You know, we know a cold wallet is going to be more secure than a hot wallet. A hot wallet allows you to buy and sell quickly, though, you know. So it's up to you. You can put it on a cold wallet. If you're waiting for 3 zeros behind the decimal point, go ahead and put it on your cold wallet. Yes, it is on Mexi today. Why don't you trust MetaMask? Because I had a dream about it. I had a dream about it. In my dream, the wealth transfer had happened, so to speak, quote unquote. Y'all know I don't like to talk about the wealth transfer as if it's a one-time event. But in that dream, I had a lot of money had come in, something had gone up. And then I saw this man who I've watched in the past, and he was talking and he said that he was going on a MetaMask fast, right? He was fasting from MetaMask, right? So what does that mean? Obviously dreams are symbolic, metaphorical language, etc. Um, Going on a MetaMask fast means you're abstaining from MetaMask, right? And so I took that as a warning. Um, Thoughts on quantity for buy orders and crash. Um, what do you mean? Quantity and what do you mean? How much money? I mean, that's such a specific, like individual specific question, it's going to change from individual to individual. I can speak on general to buy orders. So I have buy orders set for about 30 different cryptocurrencies, expecting a crash. Okay. So all the ISO 20022 tokens. So XRP, XLM, XDC, Cardano, IOTA. You can Google it. Right? There's about 7 of them. All the prophetic coins, right? So Flare, Sui, Luna Classic, even Shiba Inu, right? All the prophetic coins. Bitcoin and Ethereum are the main ones. Those are the main ones that people have talked about as far as a crash, a prophetic flash crash. Bitcoin and Ethereum. So those are the main ones, right? So I have more allocated to those two than any others. And I got some meme coins. I got some coins that I feel, just me personally feel like could do well. And so I have buy orders set for about 30 different cryptocurrencies. And the price, a lot of people have said virtually zero. Like these things are going to go to nothing, right? And so I like to be safe, better safe than sorry. So like, for instance, depending on the exchange you're on, it's going to limit how low you can set an order, right? And so on an exchange that lets you put a whole bunch of zeros behind the decimal point, let's say Bitcoin, right? Let's say we're setting a buy order for Bitcoin, and the particular exchange will let you put 4 zeros behind the decimal point on a Bitcoin buy order. I'll probably put only 2. You know what I'm saying? Because the way a flash crash works as well, you have to understand if the price drops so quickly, your order can trigger at whatever it's at, but not be filled until it drops much lower. Okay. So I've seen this play out in my Bitcoin leverage trade that I had, my 10x trade. My trade got liquidated, not liquidated. I shouldn't say liquidated. My sell order got activated well in profits. Okay. I did not get liquidated. I did not lose the trade. I was well in profits, but Bitcoin dropped 10% in less than a minute, in seconds, on this exchange. Okay. It was a candle, right? You have the body of the candle and then you have the wick of the candle. The body is for whatever that time frame you're looking at. So I was looking at a 1 minute chart. That means every candle represents only 1 minute of time. Okay. So the body was very small. The body represents what price was it at when this minute started, and what price was it at when that minute ended. And the wick, the skinny part, shows how high or low it went within that minute. I was looking at a 1 minute chart and I saw a wick. The body was flat. The wick went down 10%. It went from like 100K to 91K. Okay. That means it dropped that low and went right back up in less than a minute. Guess where my order triggered? My sell order was set at 92K. But guess what it sold at? It sold at 100K. Because it went down, it triggered my order and came back up so fast that by the time my order executed, it was back at 100K. So you use that same logic to look at a potential flash crash. If let's say Bitcoin goes as low as a penny, if you have your order set at $1, it's going to drop to $1, trigger your order, and if it's moving fast enough, your order may not be filled until it gets to 20 cents, a penny, whatever, right? You still get the lowest order because a limit order is the price you set or better. That's by definition. A limit order will trigger at the price you set or better. Okay. So I don't put a limit order as low as I possibly can, because if it doesn't go that low, you get nothing. Right now, there have been prophetic words, people say other things. That's my approach. That's my strategy. Melandra says, I have MetaMask and WikiCat listed. What are some easy wallets to send it to from MetaMask? Any wallet. Well, not any wallet. Well, yeah, any wallet, because it's about the blockchain that it's on. It's not about the asset. It's about the blockchain and the standard that blockchain uses. So Binance coins use a BSC standard, Binance Smart Chain. So if your wallet supports BSC, you can send any coin that runs on that standard to your wallet and it will hold it. That's why even though WikiCat hasn't been listed on major exchanges, I still got it on my ledger, right? Because it's a BSC coin. So BNB, WikiCat, I don't know, whatever BNB coins are out there, right? Right. If your wallet supports Ethereum, you can send Ethereum, you can send Shiba Inu, you can send Pepe, you can send all the Ethereum based coins to that wallet. WikiCat went up to 41 million cap last night on my charts. Yeah, that makes sense. Hello, Hiltonian. Good to see you. Hello, Patrick. Thank you. Thank you. That sounds like a liquidation flush. The market makers have bots and algo that hunt those stop limits. Yeah. I mean, I was looking at a 1 minute chart. Okay. That the body of that candle was flat and the wick went all the way down 10% in less than a minute. That's crazy. And in reality, it was probably seconds in reality. I just couldn't look at a smaller time frame. What about the orders being filled back on the way up? Could that be a possibility too? Yeah, that could. The way my sell limit order worked, right? So like, let's say you have a Bitcoin buy limit order at $1. Dang, I've never thought about this scenario, but I'm gonna think out loud. Let's say you have a Bitcoin buy limit order at $1. Bitcoin goes to $1, triggers your order, but then jumps back up to $2. That's interesting. Will it fill at $2 now? Do any technical experts have insight on that? Because by definition, a limit order fills at the price you set or better. So if it's a buy order, it should only fill, in the example I gave, at $1 or lower. But because your order was triggered at $1 and it immediately jumps back up to $2, let's say, would it fill? I don't know. That's a nice little thought exercise. Maybe someone can email technical support on one of these exchanges and get the answer. I mean, the reality is it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going with the prices that God gives us. Limit buy will only buy highest at set price. It is not triggered. It's a limit order. I'm not sure. Only stop orders in market if filled orders get triggered. Okay, so what you're saying is a limit order it will only execute, not necessarily trigger, but execute. And you may be correct. Obviously, I'm the type of person, don't take it the wrong way. I'm the type of person I double check anything anyone says. Because I've just been in so many situations. I'm talking about military life where someone tells me this is how you do this or this is the answer and they're 100% wrong, even though they were 100% confident. Right. So I've learned to double check anything someone tells me. But what you're saying does make sense because my order was a stop. It was a stop limit order specifically. So thank you for pointing out that specification. The example I gave, it was a stop limit order. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so it wouldn't. So in the example of having an order set at $1, the price hits $1, but it immediately jumps back up to $2. You're saying the order will not execute unless it executes while it's at that dollar range, pretty much, right? Can you transfer WikiCat coin from MetaMask to Tangent Wallet? If Tangent Wallet supports the Binance Smart Chain, then yes. I assume it does, right? BNB is a major coin, so I assume it does. So I assume the answer is yes. I can't say from experience though. I do have a Tangent wallet. They sent me one. I have not opened it yet. I will eventually. um, Someone says you're supposed to send BNB to Penny Wallet and swap from there. Right? That's up to you as the individual on what wallet you want to use. You know, I can only speak for myself. This is nothing against Penny Wallet, WikiCat, Surmappy, or anything. Penny Wallet is still very new. It released in June. Okay. So I have not used Penny Wallet yet. Eventually I probably will get on Penny Wallet, just not yet. Right. So to say you're supposed to is a little strong, I think. If someone chooses, sure. Um, if you want to use Penny Wallet, it's a hot wallet like these other hot wallets. And I believe, we've talked about this in the member section. I believe the founder, has said, God had him create Penny Wallet because it's gonna. I think he uses very strong language. He says things like it's the only way your tokens will be secure and with what's coming, as far as whether it be hacks or crashes or whatever. So it's up to you. If that's what you believe, then absolutely use Penny Wallet. Yeah, don't forget gas fees, right? So the gas fees are paid in BNB. So you need to have some BNB in order to transact. So Faustino, you said you tried to buy some yesterday. Maybe you didn't have BNB to pay the gas fee. I have a video, y'all. I'll post it in the description or on the end screen once I edit this video after the fact. I have a video that walks through the process of buying WikiCat on a hot wallet, step by step. Right? I use MetaMask in that video, but you can apply that process to any hot wallet. It will be the same process. If you want, you can just go to my channel, look at my playlist. I have a WikiCat playlist. The video is in that playlist. That'll probably be the easiest way for you to find it. Or if you use the web application for YouTube, go to my channel, search specifically on my channel for WikiCat, you'll find it. What hot wallet do you use if not MetaMask? I use multiple hot wallets. I use Base, I use Phantom Wallet, and I feel like I use one more. Let me see. Base, Phantom Wallet, Bifrost Wallet, definitely for Flare, right? Those are the three I use. I will still use MetaMask sometimes because it's quick. I know how to use it, so it's quick and easy for me. But like I said, I transfer my assets off of it immediately. Um, Kraken also has a hot wallet, the Kraken wallet. You can search that and download that if you like Kraken. There are a bunch of them, but the three I use: Bifrost, Base, and what was the other one I mentioned, y'all? Anyway, you can rewind it. Bifrost, Base, and whatever the third. Oh, Phantom Wallet. Phantom Wallet. Is USTC on Tangent and USD on Kraken the same token? No. USD on any platform is US dollars, fiat currency, like the actual dollar, right? USTC is a stable coin. Well, was a stable coin. It lost its peg years ago when it collapsed. So no, they're not the same thing. Now, you might see UST/USD. That means you're trading between those two assets. That's called a pair, right? So UST/USD, you can sell UST in return for USD, or you can use USD to buy UST. TC, sorry, TC, USTC. Liberty says, I'm not saying supposed to, but that was one of the ways to buy Wiki Cat. Okay, I got you. What should we be swapping Wiki Cat to when we take profits? You can swap to a stable coin. You can swap to BNB. You can, whatever your hot wallet will allow you to swap to, you can swap to. That's why I like to teach concepts. I don't like to tell people what to do, because then you lack the understanding of how all this works. When you understand how all this works, you can easily do what you need to do. And so what should you swap WikiCat to? I mean, me personally, it's either a stable coin or BNB, right? One or the other. And then you would then send that asset to an exchange where you can then swap that or convert that or sell that for USD or whatever country you may be in, whatever your fiat currency is. So you would swap. Essentially, the process is swap WikiCat into an asset that you can then send to an exchange and sell for US dollars. Sir Mappy says the meeting with Apple to make Penny Wallet available for all countries, including the US. So I guess it not even available in the US right now? Brother Clem felt led to only using $1 per transaction for limit orders to ensure they get filled. He shared this over a year ago. Yeah, it's the same logic that and reasoning that I'm using, you know. I think my lowest Bitcoin order is $1. Like I don't have Bitcoin orders set under $1. Because I mean that's enough, you know. Bitcoin from what is it at now? 100K over. Yeah. I will swap WikiCat to BNB from MetaMask and then transfer to Kraken BNB. Yeah, that works. If Kraken added WikiCat as a USD pair, that would be awesome. It would. I went with Brother Clem word too about making limit orders $1. It may fill with larger number, but $1 low seems wise. Lord knows. It won't fill with a larger number. It can fill with a lower number, though. If we're talking a buy limit order specifically. Are there fees per swap? Yes, there are. Andre says, but if I swap Wiki into BNB smart chain swaps, is that the same as BNB on Kraken, Coinbase, etc.? You're using the BNB smart chain to transact, but you would be swapping to the BNB coin. The BNB coin is on the BNB smart chain. The BNB coin is the native coin for the BSC. So you would swap to BNB, and yeah, that BNB coin that you swap to is the same BNB coin on Coinbase, Kraken, etc. I don't think Coinbase has listed BNB yet, but Kraken recently did. And yes, there are fees per swap. How do the taxes apply on the swaps? You pay taxes on profits, no matter what the transaction type, a swap, a sell. You pay taxes. It's the same. The spirit told me it was going to lose 3 zeros yesterday. Amen. I agree. I think 4 zeros. Faustina, anything on Digimon Rabbit? I have never looked at Digimon Rabbit. I've never been interested. I have nothing on it. Maybe someone in the chat does. I don't have anything to say good or bad about it. I'm indifferent, because that's how I was with Wiki Cat until I had a dream. That's how I was with Iraqi Dinar until, the Lord led me to get into it. All right, so I think that's all we have for Wiki Cat. What other topics do we want to talk about? What other questions? I mean, get me while I'm live. You know what I'm saying? Ideally, y'all will see me again much more sooner than the last time you saw me. But it's been 2.5 years now. I have just not lived in an environment conducive to pumping out content, and I've forced it. I've worked through it, but sometimes you get tired after persevering for 2.5 years. You know what I'm saying? I'll be happy once a lot of these profits start coming in. If you have not signed up for my email list, I would suggest that. It's free. The link is down below in my link tree. I sent out an email about the vision I had about New York. I have an email ready to go about precious metals investments, how to invest in precious metals, and sharing my investment plan with you. The different forms, because you got the physical, you got ETFs and stocks, you got the crypto, gold-backed tokens, silver-backed tokens, right? You got 3 different forms. And so I break all that down in the email and give you the info you need to devise your own plan to invest in precious metals if you feel led to do so. So that likely will be the next email that goes out, and got some other emails planned. Still holding strong with Caleb and Brown? Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. 1000%. I actually have a meeting with Jim today. I actually have a meeting with Jim in about 5.5 hours. So 100%. Yeah. So I suggest using Caleb and Brown, especially when it comes to exit strategy, offloading crypto. If you expect to be offloading hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars, Caleb and Brown is the way to go. No limits, no withdrawal limits, no transaction limits, no limits, nothing. All right. So that's how you move large amounts of money. Not to mention they have very strong storage. So my storage plan, majority is cold storage, self-storage, right? But my next largest allotment of where I want to store crypto is on Caleb and Brown. They use Fireblocks. You can do your research on Fireblocks. And then minimal on exchanges, right? Like that's the last place you want to have crypto, but you do got to have some there for some of our wealth transfer strategies. And then the reason it's not like 100% my own cold storage is because I'm not a perfect person. God forbid I lose my keys, right? God forbid something happens and I had everything on one device or just in my, whatever, then I lose everything, So I think it's wise to diversify in that way. So you can sign up with my link down below. It's on the link tree. And yeah, we do community specific promos. We did one with XRP, lower trading fees on XRP back in December for 2 weeks. I think it was 7 days or 2 weeks. and we'll probably discuss something different in our meeting today. So how about BNB Tiger? Yeah, some people were talking about BNB Tiger in the Discord, prophetically, concerning the prophetic words with it. I do own a little BNB Tiger. Um, I don't have anything directly on it. I'm kind of indifferent about it. I first got into it because someone gifted me some, and then I added a little more to it myself. And I'm just holding and waiting to see what it does. um, Copper Skin says, "Thank you for coming live and updating us. Easier to interact with you." Yeah, I appreciate you being here. I wanted to go live last night actually, um, but it was frustrating because I couldn't get things quite right. I'm kind of a perfectionist, y'all. So like, I don't like when the visuals are off, the audio's off, and it was just like frustrating. But I was like, you know what, forget it. I'm gonna just go live. Whatever happened, y'all saw me working through some technical difficulties in this, right? So that's what I mean when I talk about a conducive environment to recording and putting out content. But anyway, appreciate y'all being here. Any thoughts on Luna Classic or Sheep? We have a Luna Classic update today. Do Kwon is going to plead guilty now. Apparently, he has changed his plea in his case to guilty. That is the founder of Luna Classic and USTC. And so I believe the prophetic words about Luna Classic, I felt like we wouldn't see anything with Luna until next year because that's when his trial was originally set for. I think January or February next year. But this change of the plea came out of nowhere. I think news of it broke just yesterday that a hearing was scheduled for this morning. And this morning apparently is when he changed his plea. So that came out of nowhere. So now that we have something happening in that case, I have felt Terra Luna Classic isn't going to do anything until something happens with that case. That is what I've felt. And so now that we have something happening, who knows? Maybe something will happen. What do you think about Froggy's token? I have never heard of that unless you're talking about Pepe. But Froggy's, I don't know what that is. I tried to swap Wiki Cat by Pancake Swap. It doesn't went well. It also problem to send it to Mexi. Do you have advice for me? My advice is to set the slippage tolerance to increase the slippage tolerance. That happened to me as well. And so when the make sure you have BNB in your account, the actual BNB coin, to pay gas fees, because that's one reason the transaction will fail if you don't have enough for the gas fees in BNB. The second was the slippage tolerance. You have to increase it. I think I had to increase it all the way up to 10% for the transaction to go through sometimes. Sometimes it went through fine at like 1% or whatever, but a lot of times when it doesn't work, you increase the slippage tolerance and then it will work. And I talk about that in the video that I did, walking through step by step how to swap for Wiki Cat. Terrence says, awesome, love Caleb and Brown. Yeah, absolutely. Me too. Me too. Definitely my favorite partner, bar none, that I've had. I've only had like 2 affiliate partnerships. I'm not counting like the Amazon. Anyone can sign up for that, um, or all these other ones where it's just a quick and easy sign up for anyone. But yeah, Caleb Brown is awesome. I have nothing bad to say about Caleb and Brown, genuinely. Do you believe crypto tops this year or bull market I have no idea. Or continues into 2026? I have no idea. I'm in position. That's my whole thing. Be in position, right? It doesn't matter how it plays out if you're in position and you can react no matter what happens. Now I'm not saying it's wrong to speculate on these things. That's all fine and well. Just me personally, I don't really care. Whether it tops this year or next year, it's going to be good regardless, right? I thought maybe Caleb and Brown gave you a job. No. But they are expanding. They will be opening an office. Last I heard, well, I don't know if I should give all their plans. Let's say they're looking to expand to the USA and open some offices in the USA. So we'll just put it like that. That is thoroughly in the works. Um, been thinking it would be smart to place buy limit orders through Caleb and Brown. Yeah, I mean they do have more liquidity. They use an aggregate liquidity model where they pull liquidity from various places. And so I have buy limit orders set on Caleb and Brown as well. The only thing about that is minimum it has to be $500 minimum. And so I don't have a lot of buy limit orders set on Caleb and Brown, but I do have it set there. Thank you. You know anything BUSD token and Milo Inu? No, I don't. Sorry. BNB Tiger is a long-term hold. I was told they have a map to progress it long-term. Okay. Luna Classic is having a system upgrade on the 15th as well. Is BNB 800 a coin? Yeah, very likely. Yes. Do you hold Electronium? I do. I do. Not a ton, but I do hold Electronium. Lunk will take longer to take off based on negative news. Well, someone was speculating on X with him changing his plea and with Donald Trump apparently holding USTC in his portfolio, that maybe there's something, a deal going on behind the scenes that could actually cause things to rocket back up, actually. So who knows? Any thoughts on Voltinu? I haven't received anything directly for it. But there are people who talked about it that I trust, such as Kelly from Belief Bag. And so I hold some Voltinu. So I expect it to do well. I just don't have anything personally on it. How long do you have to upgrade to a token like Volt Inu? What do you mean upgrade? Upgrade to a token like Volt Inu. I'm not sure what that means. You can BNB from Kraken, then transfer it to MetaMask and buy Wiki Cat or any coin on BNB chain. That is correct. It wasn't that simple when I did it, y'all. When I first bought Wiki Cat, look, I'm not knocking anybody from struggling to buy Wiki Cat. It took me 2 days to buy Wiki Cat the first time I ever bought it. Because it was my first time ever swapping using a hot wallet, so I had to understand that whole thing. And then I didn't understand I needed BNB for the gas fees. So I was like, why is this not working? Thankfully, I had a friend who knew how to do it and helped me out, even sent me like $20 of BNB. So I had the gas fees. And now you have me as a friend. I mean, I'm not sending you all $20 of BNB, but I'm here to give you information. You know what I'm saying? Voltinu has a big community. They have their own Volt card to buy stuff with. I noticed that they changed their logo. I did notice that recently when I was just browsing things. I think he means migrate. You know what? I feel like I lost some Voltinu when they did that migration. Because, I mean, it's my fault for not really paying too much attention to it at the time, but I was like, what? I thought I had some Voltinu already. Where'd it go? You know? And so, yeah, oh well. I bought some more, but I feel like I lost it, whatever I had when they did that migration. Yeah, James, I'm sorry. I can't really help you with that upgrade question or that migration question, but maybe someone in the chat can. How many BNB tokens do you have to have at 800 a coin? That's expensive. I can afford. You can buy fractional Come on, Faustino. You've been around here long enough, okay? You got the purple members badge. So I think that means you've been here at least 6 months. You know you can buy fractional coins. You know you don't have to buy the whole coin. You know what I'm saying? So you can buy $20 worth of BNB, which will be like 0.00 whatever of BNB, and that's fine. On Penny Wallet, you don't need any gas fee from a native token for transaction. You will be charged from the token you're transacting with. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So there's a plus for Penny Wallet, y'all. Where do I buy Iraqi dinar at? So I have two things. I can tell you where I've bought from, but then I can tell you other places because I don't. Where I've bought from them 3 times now. SafeDinar.com. SafeDinar.com. I don't necessarily recommend them though because their customer service is not that great. I've had multiple not so great interactions with their customer support and customer service, and I've heard other people say the same thing in the Discord. So I don't like to promote them. And if I buy more dinar, I'm going somewhere else, right? So let me see. I want to show you. Thank you, Ronald, for upgrading. Thank you for your support. I want to see because we talked about that recently in the Discord. So I want to see the places people mention. So they mentioned the Wise app, right? Now, obviously, you're not getting the physical if you use the Wise app. Wait, does Wise have the Iraqi dinar? I know they have Vietnamese dong. So Wise might not even have Iraqi dinar yet. Let's see. What are some? There's a banknoteworld.com. Banknoteworld.com. That is one. Sorry, y'all. I'm just scrolling the Discord trying to find it. If you know some places in the chat, by all means, post it. Because it's I'm drawing a blank right now off the top of my head, but banknoteworld.com is one I remember. Exchange of America, that was another. Exchange of America, X, just the letter X, Exchange of America. You can go to a currency exchange place, in your local area. Some banks, depending on where you bank or where you're at, do exchange it as well. Airports, people have mentioned. Yeah, so people are posting some good stuff in the chat as far as where to buy Iraqi dinar. I've bought it 3 times with Safe Dinar. I just don't like their customer support, but I always got what I paid for. It always came, no issues. It comes with the certificate of authenticity with them as well. They are registered with the Better Business Bureau. They are registered with the U.S. Treasury. So they have some positive things, some very positive things when it comes to just being secure, and making sure you're not getting anything counterfeit. But customer service is also very important to me personally. So that's why I don't really like to promote them. So the decision is yours. I mean, when you make a purchase from them and you ask them, you send them an email asking a question specifically about your order and they ignore you, and you knew they were going to ignore you, but you were hoping they would, and they ignore you, that's kind of an issue. And that was just the most recent. Like I said, I've had multiple bad things happen. Like they're very responsive if you're in the middle of making an order. They're very responsive then, but it seems like once they have your money, they couldn't care less. But anyway, Volt is really cheap right now. You can buy millions for dollars. Yeah. PN says long time. Yeah, it has been. It has been. It has been. You know, I feel like the Lord's also just kind of been working on me as well, spiritually. So it's like, have I not been posting due to lack of motivation, or have I not been posting because the Spirit has kind of set me down for a little bit? You know, I've still gone live. I still go live a couple of times a month in the member section though, because I feel like an obligation there. You know, those people are supporting financially through their membership and all of that. You do not have any concerns since Caleb Brown recently sold a portion of the company or got bought out. No, I don't. They're still running independently as far as their operations, and that company is not meddling in how they run what they do. And that move was really so the company that purchased them so they could just have more exposure to the US market, since Caleb and Brown has already done a lot of the legwork that they would have to do to get exposure to the US market. So no, I don't have any concerns because I've spoken to Jim about these things, you know, and when I first heard the news, because Jim let me know directly. When I was like, okay, is this gonna change anything, you know? But he assured me it wouldn't, and it's been it's been nearly 3 months now, and nothing has changed from what I've seen. So I don't have any concerns. You know anything about UMA, X, Inu, or anything about Basecoin? I know I'm asking a lot of questions. Thank you. I don't. Basecoin. Do they have a coin? I know they have a blockchain, right? Well, not a blockchain. Is it a blockchain? Because don't they run on the Ethereum? Aren't they? Is it? I don't know. Y'all let me know in the chat. But I don't think Base actually has a coin. Correct me if I'm wrong. I bought several currencies from Exchange of America. It seemed good. I feel you. It happened to me too. I was frustrated until I learned how to swap. So a lot of people are recommending Exchange of America for buying Iraqi dinar. So y'all can check them out. Banknote World is good for currencies that are hard to find. They buy directly from central banks, I believe. Okay. Yeah, I think I was looking at Banknote World when I was looking into the Ugandan currency. That's another prophetic one. I was looking into that in the Haitian. I bought at Treasury Vault multiple times. Okay. I use CXI Exchange. Yeah, I've heard of that too. I think they have physical locations as well. CXI Exchange, Treasury Vault. Okay, Treasury Vault has a couple of recommendations. Exchange of America, Banknote World. Hopefully Place on Boston has international exchange on the second floor. That is very specific, but hey, if you're in the Boston area, hey, there you go. Welcome, Michelle. Thank you for supporting. Probably both. Both. What are y'all talking about when you say both? It sounds like you're responding to something I said, but I don't even remember what it could be. Are there prophetic words on Polkadot? I think some people have talked about it. I can't say for sure off the top of my head. I think some have. I mean, I think it'll do well. It's already a top cryptocurrency. So I think it'll do well. Some people tried to tell me that they believe my pink dream that I had was about polka dot. It was not about polka dot. It was it was about the two cryptocurrencies I mentioned in that video. Um, but I think polka dot will. I don't think polka dot is a bad investment. I just can't tell you specific prophetic words off the top of my head. Yeah, I think just base network. Oh, maybe that's what y'all were saying both too when I was talking about base. Yeah, I don't think they have a coin though. I think they just have a network. Yeah, old Rounder Bro says I bought my IQD on eBay. Iraqi Dinar's IQD for those who don't know, but you have to be careful. Yeah, I haven't bought on eBay. I mean, that just sounds risky. Although when I went to make my first purchase, I got recommended eBay a couple of times. They say you want to look with someone with like a 99% positive seller review rate, and someone who's done, thousands of transactions. So they're a little more trustworthy. Do you think Wiki Cat will go straight up, or will it gain back zeros? The only way I think it gains back zeros is if we see a overall crash, or a bear market and like everything goes down, right? I don't see WikiCat dropping to where it adds more zeros from this point on its own. You know what I'm saying? Flare, yeah, absolutely. Flare is a big one. When you said ID, you weren't posting because of God work. When you said if you weren't posting because of God working spiritually and you are just not. Oh, okay. Wanting to post. Okay, yeah, or both. I know God has been definitely dealing with me spiritually, and I've gotten lazy sharing dreams. I mean, I still share, you know what I'm saying? Y'all still see me in the Discord. Y'all still see me in the member section. But I handle the public area a little differently of the channel just because that's going out to everybody. And, you got the first impression, the people seeing you for the first time, this and the other. So I like it to be a little more polished if it can be. And so it's almost like, okay, I know if I'm going to make a public video, it's going to be a lot of work, especially because I just got this new computer. I have to learn how to use a new editing app because I'm not using CapCut anymore because they changed their privacy policy and it's crazy now. Like, you have no rights to your content. They can use anything you make in CapCut. Basically, they own it. And they can use it however they want. And so I'm not using that anymore. So I have to find a new editing software and learn it. And while learning a new operating system, right, it just feels like a lot. So yeah. If you're based in the UK, Manor FX is good for IQD. Okay. Yeah. So what about these wars? I mean, I'm gonna send an email about this. So again, join the email list, completely free, of course. A lot of wars and rumors of wars, right? That's what Jesus said, right? And I believe we are in those times. Of course, we have Russia and Ukraine, we have Israel and Iran, we have Israel and Palestine, or Hamas, if you will. Same difference, kind of. We recently, out of nowhere, had Cambodia and Thailand. um, China is always threatening Taiwan. Russia and the US have been making statements, nuclear statements, a lot of stuff. There's a sister in the community who had a dream with me, Katrina. Her channel is The Praise 02. She had a dream with me in it. She sent it to me. Essentially, she saw me. I had made a post on YouTube and I was asking when the last time the Eagles played the Bears and the Eagles won. And so there's a lot to that. And it's interesting that she saw me in that dream because I've been an Eagles fan my entire life of watching football over, 25 years now. And so it's interesting that she saw me in that dream asking about the Eagles. But I took the Eagles to be USA and the Bears to be Russia, symbolically, because it was a dream. And this was like at least 2 months ago, before, they started speaking about nuclear this and Trump moving 2 nuclear submarines closer to Russia and this, that, and the other. And there are prophetic words about Russia attacking the US. With nukes, even, there's one prophetic word. This guy, I saw his video recently. He received this prophetically years ago, like nearly 20 years ago. I think he said 2007. And he was like, Russia is going to invade Ukraine. And people called him crazy, Russia is going to invade Ukraine. He said what it's going to end up in is Russia taking eastern Ukraine. Now, what's so funny is most recent thing I saw in the news about that was Russia will agree to a ceasefire if they get eastern Ukraine. Now, this guy is prophesying this in like 2007, okay? He said it's going to end with Russia getting eastern Ukraine, but he said by way of attack, not by way of like a peace treaty. Okay, but then he said Russia will then the US will first attack Russia and destroy a lot of their military, and then Russia will retaliate. And he named specific cities. Yeah, no, Octavia, he named specific cities he saw these nukes hitting. He said the first one will hit Chicago. He said, and then it's going to kind of travel down south. So some other cities he mentioned, I can't remember all of them. He said New York is going to get hit with 3 of them, I think. He said San Francisco, a couple of places in California. He said Memphis and Nashville. He said God is protecting Texas, Oklahoma, that Texas-Oklahoma area, Western Kansas, I want to say. God is protecting that area. He said he didn't mention Florida being hit, and other prophets have mentioned like Texas being a safe place, Florida being a safe place, Arizona being a safe place. He mentioned Albuquerque, New Mexico being hit. That's what I can remember right now. Boston, I think he said. So watch out, Faustino. I think he said Boston. So, I mean, already half of what he saw has happened, right? Or at least a third of it, right? Russia invading Ukraine, and then he saw Russia taking eastern Ukraine, which, again, recently, that's what Putin said he wanted. To stop the war, I want eastern Ukraine. So, what's up, Marcus? Respectfully, why is God taking so long? I've been waiting 4 years for this, and I'm still living check to check, and it's like any job I apply for won't hire me. I'm not a felon. Yeah, he's working on you. He's working that patience and that humility and that dependence on him, knowing that. I feel like the word dependence gets it's almost looked at as like you're weak, but scripture does say when we are weak, he is strong, right? But dependence in understanding that he is the source of anything positive in your life that's ever happened is because of God. Anything, right? But we don't always really understand that or look at it that way. But I've been waiting too, bro. I've been waiting 4 years myself. And there are people been waiting longer than us, and so it's just patience. I mean, I can't question God's timing. He knows way more than me, right? Obviously, infinitely more than me. So his timing is perfect. I can't question that. To us, it's like, dang, why is this taking so long? And, I think I've asked the question before. Do you think it's because spiritual forces are delaying it, opposing it, or do you think it's just not time yet? And some people will tell you, oh, we got to pray it in. We got to pray it in. It won't happen unless we pray. And others will disagree with that. I disagree with that, but I think we should pray, if that makes sense. I don't think it's dependent upon our prayers, but we should pray. And our praying will help. But I think it will happen. And people are praying. Christians pray. People who truly love the Lord that pray. So prayer is going to happen, whether you pray or not. Prayer is going to happen, right? I think we should pray though, and but I think it's going to happen, you know, because we have to understand what this really is. What is crypto going to be in the end? It's going to be part of the beast system, and we know the beast system has to happen. It is written, right? And so we know this transfer of wealth by means of crypto, you know, um, by means of land and precious metals and all. It has to happen because it's part of the change that has to happen in the world for prophecy to play out, biblical prophecy. Um, so yeah, it's tough, but he sustained you, right? I mean, you're here on YouTube talking to me, so I know he sustained you. He sustained me too. Look, I've asked the same questions. Many of us have asked the same questions, you know. many of us, many of us, trust me. Watch the waters in the Atlantic of the East Coast. Attacking household with nukes. Yeah, I answered that. I'm asking because in Sharon's dream, the cat was going back under the water. Well, it was almost like she was baptizing the cat, right? That's what I got from the dream. Um, like Wiki Cat is anointed, right? It's chosen by God. Um, and so in my dream, the cat ran up and down the stairs a couple of times, a few times. And so I was like, okay, does that mean, is that the price action? It's going to spike a few times and then go down. And then finally, when it went down the last time, that's when the guy in the house took it away. Right now, in my dream, when the cat got taken away, I felt sad, but I knew the guy there, it was a positive figure. It was like the cat wasn't where it was supposed to be. Where it was in my dream, it wasn't supposed to be there. So the guy was taking the cat to a better place for it. So I'm like, okay, is that the price action? And then at a certain point, it's going to go to exchanges, larger exchanges? Or is that, hey, it's going to go up and down a few times, it's going to pump one last time and then go away? Kind of like what has been prophesied about Pepe, right? Um, but yeah. Who is the guy that prophesied this? I don't know his name. Let me look at my YouTube history real quick and I'll give you the name of the video. Switch. But he was a pastor. Well, I don't want to say pastor. He was a minister of some type. He was actually in Ukraine when he got this revelation and he shared it. Um, dang man. I don't even think Russia was in the title. That's the rough part about it. I'm searching my history and I'm trying to search keywords, but I think the title was something like, you know what? Make sure you're on my email list. I will include a link to the video in the email. Okay. I can't recall the name. It's a channel I don't watch that I saw this video. Oh no, I sent it to Katrina. Let me go to my email. Because I shared it with Katrina and she thought it was very confirming. Let's see. All right, so the channel name is Midnight Hour Oil, and the video name says God showed Pastor Philip where the nukes would hit the USA and after the rapture safe zones. I don't know how well you can see that, but that's what the video looks like. Um, yeah, so you can search Midnight Hour Oil Pastor Philip in YouTube, and I'll probably pull it up. Oh, interesting. Oh, great, not Dallas. I still have yet to move. Yeah, so that was confirming to me, because I felt God wants me in Texas. A sister in the community prayed and prophesied with me. Sister Leah, if y'all know who that is. I don't know if she wants me to mention, so her channel name is not her actual name. So if you know who I'm talking about. But she prayed and prophesied over me for like 2 hours a few weeks ago. And she confirmed God wants me in Texas, um, among other things. Make sure you're getting your XRP, XLM, and XDC. Make sure you're getting your copper. I've been having dreams about me working at a stock exchange where people are praying and playing gospel music. I saw a bunch of coins go really high. People celebrate. I went to pick up food for everyone. Amen. At the I went to pick up food for everyone at the exchange. Then people didn't recognize me, but God had a YouTuber I listened to, I think, give gold plate with my name on it. Recently, God has been telling me to be independent, but depending on Him. Amen. That's a good word. Not working for someone else, but depending on Him. There is growth and maturity in the waiting. It's part of the process with the level of wealth we're expecting. Amen. Yes, Crypto Knight, what's up? Yeah, it got listed on MEXC. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. MEXC and apparently an exchange named Coinpedia. I've never heard of it before, but yeah, Wiki Cat absolutely is on fire. Let's see, what are we looking at now in the past 24 hours? 96%. Yeah, crazy. Um, my bag is inflating. um, yeah, that's Leah is definitely a woman of God. She hears the Lord for sure. Um, yeah, so again, WikiCat listed on 2 new exchanges in the past 24 hours. Mentioned by a big YouTuber yesterday. I mean, a big Twitter guy yesterday, 800,000 followers, which is something that was prophesied. And he said the community that's the loudest, the meme coin community that's the loudest, is the coin he's going to get behind and basically promote. And then right after he said that, he said WikiCat, the WikiCat community is in his chat every single day. He specifically called out the WikiCat community. So we'll see how that goes. We got anything else, y'all, before we wrap it up? We're at 99 minutes since the stream started. And hey, if y'all are cool with this type of video, maybe I'll be able to get on more often, Not necessarily very polished. We might have some technical hiccups. I don't know. But, I just like to try to be a little more polished, do things with excellence, right? Like Daniel. Do you have any idea how many zeros WikiCat will lose this season? This season specifically, I can't say, but I believe at some point it'll drop 4 zeros, at least at some point from where it's at now. Hello, Victory. Thanks for sharing with us. It's been great. Yes, thank you. Thank you for being here. And one last time, again, join the email list just because that's gonna be one of the key ways I put out information immediately, right? It doesn't cost anything to join the email list. I'm not saying join the email list for money. I'm saying if you want information, if you want updates, y'all know I haven't made too many videos the past couple of months. So if you still want to get updates, join the email list or join the member section or do both. Thanks, the messenger. This is cat season. Amen. Thank you. All right, y'all. I think we're good. Yeah, my family basically thinks I'm lazy, unmotivated, and crazy, which isn't true, and it's not true. I get treated like a drug addict, even though I'm making 55K a year. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, 55K a year. That's nothing to think that someone's lazy or not. That's interesting. Yes, Kryptonite. Good to see you in the chat. I mean, we still gotta conclude the 3-part series with me, you, and Pastor Keith. You know what I'm saying? So just waiting on the word from you. No pressure, no pressure. Yeah, storyteller, you just got to push through that. I went through that myself. I had people close to me, one person in particular, basically thinking that they knew better than me for my life and telling me you need to be doing this rather than what you're doing. And I just had to tell them, this is the path God has me on, and I have to walk it. That's it. Like, I'm not doing what you think I should do. There's no argument. And they understood it. They didn't agree with me at the time, but after they've seen some things progressing, after they've been able to make some money in crypto thanks to my help, and I haven't heard anything about it since. So you got to put your foot down, stand your ground, stand on business, as they say, stand for the Lord, and then show them, show them what you said was true, which will then give glory to God, right? At the end of the day. If you told them you're doing what you're doing because of God, and then you do what you told them you were going to do, and they see the success, it gives glory to God. I think there's a spirit of Leviathan running in my fam. It's been the worst with them this year. Thanks for sharing that testimony of yours. Yeah, you got to stay prayed up, and just stay in faith, really. Your faith, don't take this the wrong way. I don't have the perfect words to say this, but your faith in God applies pressure to God. In the sense of, don't take it the wrong way. Nobody pressures God, right? But like in the sense of faith is what moves God. If you have faith in something he said and you're applying that, he has to come through for you. He has to. No ifs, ands, or buts. He has to. You think Wiki Cat will lose more zeros this year? It's already about to lose one. It's already lost one this year. It was at 8 zeros last year. It's at 7 now. Right now it's at 7 zeros and a 7. So soon it'll lose another 0. It'll be at 6 zeros. So yeah. I need help because I can't figure out how to purchase Wiki Cat. I have a video. If you're watching the replay, I'll post a link down below and I'll put the video on the end screen. But if you go to my channel, you look at my playlist, you can find the Wiki Cat playlist. There's a video step-by-step on how to buy it. If you want to use Penny Wallet, you can literally no, sorry. Generally speaking, you just use a hot wallet and you swap for it. You want to have BNB, generally speaking, right? And swap your BNB for WikiCat, essentially. So you can buy BNB on Kraken, send your Kraken to the hot wallet you're using, Penny Wallet, MetaMask, Base, whatever, and then on that hot wallet, swap the BNB for WikiCat. That's the simple. but I have a video that walks through it. Brother Marcus, you mentioned Ugandan currency. What was the other currency? The other currency I was looking at the time was the Haitian currency, the Haitian gourde. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it. It's Gourde. I think the R might be silent. But the Haitian currency. But as far as like, so what currencies do I own right now? I own Iraqi dinar. I own Vietnamese dong. I own Indonesian rupiah. I owned Indian rupee. That's it. Majority Iraqi dinar. Faith can move mountains. Amen. Love you all and just got on, but saw Wiki Cat, so I had to ask. Wow, say that again so I can write it down. The faith moves God part, and I'll be quiet. I could go on. Yeah, faith, and I'm speaking as a human, okay? Faith applies pressure to God. Now, obviously nobody pressures God, but in the sense of if your faith is in him and what he said, he has to act on it. If you're doing things based on what he has said, he has to come through for you. Abraham believed God, and it was accounted to him as faith. Genesis 15:6. No, it was accounted to him as righteousness. Sorry. Abraham believed God, and it was accounted to him as righteousness. So it's all about faith, but we know that. When do you take profit? When you feel led. When it makes sense for you to take profit. Right? Like, if you put in $100 in Wiki Cat yesterday, you have about 200 today. Does it make sense for you to take profit right now? Is $100 going to do anything for you? Probably not. Now, if it does 10x from this, you have $1,000. Does it make sense then? Probably still not, right? 100x from there, you have $100,000 in Wiki Cat. Does it make sense? It might make sense then for you. For me, no. But for you, maybe. Is what I don't know anyone's life, you know. Where does it make sense to take profit for you? Right now, again, the target point for me is 3 zeros behind the decimal point. So that's the ultimate place to take profit, right? I'm not waiting too much further beyond that. I'm gonna hold a little bit. I'm gonna keep a little bit for it to go beyond that. But probably 90% of my Wiki Cat will be sold by that point, at that point, at least. Right. So leading up to that, it's just what makes sense. When it's 5 decimal points behind the zero, if you put in 100 today, right, it's 5 points behind the decimal. Now you have 10,000, roughly speaking, right? Maybe it makes sense for you to take out 2,000. Maybe you got a bill to pay. I don't know, you know? So that's kind of how I look at it. Just you take profit when it makes sense. You have your target point of how high you think it will go, and you take profit when it makes sense along the way. Zimbabwean $2. I hope it loses zeros by the time this live is over in Jesus' name. Well, considering that we're ending the live stream right now, you know, I like your faith, but I don't think that that's likely. All right, everyone. God bless, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Join the email list though.